Nova. So chill.
Was it? We don't hear that one often, at least.
Whoa, I'm hearing double you.
I'm hearing me twice.
Oh my gosh, what is...
That's twice the me.
Wow, I love when OBS throws me for a loop. Oh, you know what? I bet
it's cool. I've always
know what's happening.
felt like there should be more me.
Yeah, you should double the Brandon, double the fun.
It's very hard to talk.
All right, try talking now. Okay, you are talking, but now no one hears you, not even me. Everything you say is being lost to the void. Say something now.
Even better. Hello,
oh,
test.
There you go. There we are.
I'm back.
Back in all your
I'm
glory.
back, baby.
Fixed it. Okay, I forgot.
Wow,
I changed that setting to
journey.
be able to. I changed a setting in Discord to be able to spam. Yeah. In the forest, but then I didn't realize that broke my OBS setup. So.
The things we do.
Things we do for.
Was it worth it?
No, not at all, because it didn't work.
And you haven't got to you didn't even get to use it. I guess it just didn't work. So there you go.
It didn't work. Yeah,
it's weird that it doesn't work. I don't understand.
It's because the forest doesn't let you choose the microphone it uses, which I don't know. I don't know what they were expecting with that. But here we are. Welcome. It's another episode of the Drizzle Bizzle. The Drizzle Bizzle.
Show where we draw bizzles.
That's right, we bizzle and we drizzle. This is episode 174. We're almost at episode 175, which is crazy to think about.
And then you know what comes after that?
176.
I know, it's wild. It's hard to wrap my brain around that.
Yesterday was Thursday. Today is Friday. We so excited. I'm sorry, what were we saying before?
We so excited.
We so excited. Remember Friday memes? Remember that song?
I do. I remember when the world collectively came together to shit on a child.
Yeah, that fucking kid. How dare she have dreams? Fucking A. Actually, the weirdest thing about that song to me was both the entire world collectively gathering to mock a child, but also the weird cameo of the rapper guy who shows up like midway through the song.
That's the weird part.
And it's
that's
like, what are you doing here, adult? Like.
He probably produced it all, right?
He did,
so
yeah.
He threw himself in there.
He was the guy who ran the company, I think, is what the story was.
Yeah.
So,
so he's like, I get a piece.
Yeah.
I get to be in this too. That's the rule. That's my one and only rule.
He wanted a piece of that sweet Friday action.
That guy already had some meme. He was already kind of like in some weird videos before Friday occurred.
Was he really? Was that a thing?
I'm pretty sure that's a thing. You know, it's been so long ago now.
I know Friday was not the first video produced by that company. It was the first one to achieve like such viral. I don't want to call it success. Scorn, I think, is a more accurate word. But
I don't know. I mean, any press is good press when it's that level, right? Like,
I don't know.
People know that song still, like.
But like your business is like, hey, make good memories for your child.
Right, yeah, nobody wants to make their kid go viral and like joked on by the whole world.
Yeah.
Or do they?
I don't know. I know that Rebecca Black released songs after the fact, and she was a voice actress in, I believe it was Kung Fu Rabbit, alongside Napoleon Dynamite, Josh Heder. It's like a weird Kung Fu Panda ripoff, but obviously because it's called like Kung Fu Rabbit. But
I didn't know Napoleon Dynamite was still doing any acting stuff.
I mean, he was in Kung Fu Rabbit, so
there you go. He's not.
Yeah,
but he's trying. He's trying. I guess I didn't know he was trying. You know.
I don't know if that's trying either. Like, if someone's like, hey, you're gonna be in Kung Fu Rabbit, and you're like, oh. Wasn't Kung Fu Panda? I know he doesn't talk like that, but if you're like, wasn't Kung Fu Panda already a movie? And they're like, yeah, we're making a horrible, I think it was like an actual knockoff from China, if I remember correctly. And they're like, yeah,
we're putting this in the red box to confuse people.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure you just like you record your lines on the phone right then and there. So I don't know if that's trying per se. That sounds like somebody was like looked you up on IMDb and was like, hey,
you want money? We'll make it very easy for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
I can't claim to have background information on, the production of Kung Fu Rabbit. I did, however, watch Chop Kick Panda, which was a whole separate thing. I watched it.
Chop Kick
Panda. It was
Drop kick? Chop kick? What do you
chop? Like a chopstick, except you take out the ST and you make it a K.
Chop Kick.
Chop Kick Panda. Which was
and what is
2D.
Chop Kick Panda?
It was 2D animated. It was clearly like you know how Bluey looks? Imagine like Bluey but way worse. And it's about a panda who he teaches karate. Well, he's a janitor for a karate school. So clearly they're already stealing the waterlogged formula.
Why does everybody take all our good ideas?
I know, God damn it. He's the janitor for this karate school, but the sensei is like, hey, I gotta go to fucking California or something like that. And he just like ditches, and he's like, you gotta teach these kids for a little while. Go put a fucking iPad in front of these kids while I go to Venice Beach.
These kids.
And so he's taking care of these kids. He's like, hey kids, here's how you eat rice. And then all of a sudden there's like an evil guy who starts like flickering the lights, and he kind of like teaches the kids like, I'm gonna fight this guy, and then the guy like trips or something. I don't know. It's like dumb as it's like very for kids and stupid. And that was.
Did you watch the whole thing?
I watched all of it. Yes. Don't question me on this.
I actually I wasn't questioning. I knew the answer before I asked. I just needed to hear you say it.
Don't doubt that I will watch Chop Kick Panda. I mean, it was like 20 minutes long. It was like a 20-minute. It's like how those really shitty knockoff movies will be like, we're a whole movie, and then they're 40 minutes long tops.
I see.
It was very short. Yeah. We watched it. It was me and Ryan, my ex. So we watched.
Chop Kick Panda. What platform was Chop Kick Panda?
Netflix.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's one industry that's really going to thrive from AI are the knockoff
the like
movies.
Shitty.
Yeah, the ones that are only there to get people to accidentally watch them.
How will people
and collect money for it?
How will people be able to make fun of the thing about Ratatouille and why Ratatouille is such a great Ratatouille knockoff though is it's so bad.
I've never heard of Ratatouille. Tell me a little bit about this.
Oh man, Ratatouille. Let me tell you. First of all, the draw pile window is the wrong one. So now I got it real quick. Anyways, fixed that. What a fun thing. Ratatouille. So I think I found out about it through a Danny Gonzalez video, which I found out about his channel with Ryan when she was watching. She was introducing me to all the YouTube channels she watched. But Danny Gonzalez does a whole video where he kind of just goes through Ratatouille and describes the movie. But it's a Ratatouille knockoff. It looks really bad. I think it was made in Brazil or something like that, a country where the animation industry isn't quite as thriving as it was back then. Although I'm sure the animation industry in Brazil is probably much healthier than in America.
I was gonna say, don't you talk shit about Brazilian animation industry.
I'm not shitting on Brazil's animation. I'm shitting on. I'm not even shitting on anything. I'm just saying that their animation industry doesn't have the Hollywood money of a DreamWorks, Kung Fu Panda or Ratatouille. But anyways, Ratatouille is a Ratatouille knockoff, and they steal food from a local restaurant, which is more it just looks like a kitchen. They were running their own rat restaurant for roaches and rats and their little thing, and then at night they go into the kitchen and they steal food but then like the owners get a cat or something, and
Start killing them.
It's sort of, yeah, like the cat is like a big nuisance, but Ratatouille, I think, is the main character, and he's got the moves or something.
The cat can't catch Ratatouille.
Cat can't catch Ratatouille, and then
what the fuck is that Ratatouille supposed to mean? Ratatouille is like an actual thing.
Yeah, it's like a dish.
Ratatouille just nonsense?
Yeah, it's 100% nonsense.
Okay. Great.
And there's a girl rat that is like the love interest, and there's also like some evil rats who are trying to get the Ratatouille restaurant shut down, and somehow the evil rats, I think, have a deal with the humans or something to protect their food from rat. Anyways, the story ends like I think the cat like explodes or something, and the rats who are evil get like sent to a laboratory to get experimented on for the rest of their lives, which is like extremely grim. It's a mess. I don't know. Like as I try and recount the plot to you, I've seen this Danny Gonzalez video. Like, mind you, I've seen it like over 3 times, and I still don't remember the plot to this movie because it's like, even though the movie is shorter than Ratatouille, it's much less structured. And makes it harder to sort of like stick in your mind because there's no like real ridges to grab onto in your brain for like a foothold or something. Anyways, the point is, it's bad. Ratatouille. Crazy Kyle says, I feel like some of Napoleon Dynamite stuff could be great for a bad movie. Something recent called When Jeff Tried to Save the World. It's about him saving a bowling alley, but that's not the world. What?
So he is still trying.
I guess he's still trying. I don't know. I saw the last movie I saw with Napoleon Dynamite was either School for Scoundrels with him and Billy Bob Thornton, and that movie was.
He was in that.
He was in that. Yeah, he was like the main character. Billy Bob Thornton was kind of like Mr. Steal Your Girl. The
that makes
plot,
sense. When I think of, some smooth guy, I think of Billy Bob Thornton.
I know, right? I was gonna make a Monsters Ball joke, but I think that just saying that is sufficient.
Say the title of the movie and then move on.
Yeah, just move on. We don't gotta talk about
Monsters Ball. Anyways,
Monsters Ball. But I swear to God, like School for Scoundrels has the exact same plot as either one other movie or 100 other movies. But yeah, Napoleon Dynamite, he goes to like basically a pickup artist school or something like that to be more confident, and Billy Bob Thornton's there and he's like, I want to fuck your girlfriend. And that's the movie plot, is like the main guy's Billy Bob Thornton's just trying to like get with Napoleon Dynamite's girlfriend, and Napoleon Dynamite eventually realizes that he had what it took to be a good boyfriend. I guess
the smooth guy
he
by
beats
being
the smooth
himself.
Guy. That's pretty much, yep, that's what happens. Although he also learns a few lessons about confidence and getting one over on a real dickhead along the way.
Wow. That sounds great.
Yeah, and then I also saw The Benchwarmers, which I also did not like at all.
Oh, man, I hated that movie.
You hated that movie too?
It must have been like a nostalgic sweet spot for some people, because I occasionally have people be like,
right?
Dude, Benchwarmers, and I'm like,
I love Benchwarmers.
No one likes Benchwarmers. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's like so like, not to shit on a specific person, because if that person's watching the stream, they'll know I'm talking about them. But I talked to somebody once who they really liked the movie The Drummer, which I don't know if you know that movie.
I'm not even familiar with that. No, I don't think so.
It's Rainn Wilson, aka Dwight of The Office.
Oh, yep. Yep.
And
it's called The Rocker, right?
The Rocker, yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, I'm sorry. What was I calling it? The Drummer? Yeah,
The Drummer.
It's Drums. The Rocker. Drums, mate. I fucking hated that movie too. But
I've
that
never
movie,
seen it, but
that movie also committed like several cardinal sins for me. If you're a movie about a band, there's like a couple of rules in my head that if you break them, I'm gonna immediately like dock you points because it makes me think your movie's stupid.
Let's hear those rules.
Rule number 1.
I like your arbitrary rules.
I'm a big fan of arbitrary rules that no one's aware of until I'm mad at them. Arbitrary rule number 1. If your movie is about a musician or a band, you can't have that musician play their song, and the song can't be exceptionally mediocre, and then you have everyone in the movie going like, dude, this is the best song I've heard in my life. Like,
I know.
No, you've already lost me. Like, no, I'm sorry. I'm not going to believe.
It's such a, like, gamble to even try to write that plot line where, like, oh, they write the best song ever made.
Exactly.
And then you're just like, well, there's no way that you're going to be able to do that now. You just fucked yourself by even saying that.
Yeah. Like, they have, like, this really just very generic, I don't know, alt-rock songs that the band is playing. And then, like, people will be like, dude, I, like, heard this band. There's a viral video of this drummer, and he was, like, naked. But then I heard the song this band was playing, and I was like, this is really good. And I'm like, no, it's not.
Liar.
The best movie I've ever seen handle music in it, and I've talked about this movie on this podcast stream, whatever we call it, before, was Inside Llewyn Davis, which, go figure, the Coen brothers would do a race. Yeah, where nobody likes the songs. Like, the guy is playing, like, songs that I think are legitimately quite good, but the movie, like, beats it by having nobody like his music. So it's like you hear these amazing songs, and, like, you don't have it, like, forced in your throat, like, this is good music. In fact, it's, like, almost reinforcing the opposite by, like, saying, like, nobody likes these songs, man. It's the best way to do it, in my opinion.
Yeah, that is.
It's good.
I also like, this isn't, I mean, I guess there is a movie, but in the movie they actually do kind of play it. But I love, like, Tenacious D's whole angle with Tribute, where they're basically talking about the greatest song ever, but they keep casually mentioning that they just forgot how it goes. Like, that's a nice way to thread that needle too.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, man, you should have been there. Anyways, this is just like in honor of that song that we can't remember or whatever.
This song doesn't sound anything like that song. They literally say that.
Yeah, so you can't call us out. This is just it's just
this
tribute.
Is just a tribute. You gotta believe. Yes, I wish you were there. It's a matter of opinion. What a great song.
It really is.
Anyways, so the cardinal sin number 2 of the rocker is that they get, like, inducted, or they don't get inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but, like, they get invited to, like, whenever a band gets inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, another band plays, like, an opening show or, like, a concert for them, because people feel like this band was, like, clearly influenced by that band, you know, something along those lines.
Okay.
And so in the rocker, the band has been in existence for, like, a year, and then they get invited to, like, you're gonna play the Rolling Stones or some shit, or, like, Aerosmith.
The fuck?
Into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Like, you're the band that's gonna open for them. And I'm like, these are high school kids who have been doing this band for a year, and their music is mid. It's like,
yeah,
it immediately, like, any, like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Loses all credibility.
Any credibility, any immersion I have into the movie's universe is immediately lost, because I don't believe this shit.
That's fair.
So yeah, and so I talked to a friend one time who he said he liked The Rocker, and I was like, I fucking hated that movie. He's like, I don't know, I like the music in it, so I could believe what was happening. So,
wow.
Like, fair. You know, I'm not gonna like, you know.
That person, do you ever talk to them anymore after that?
Yeah, they're a good person.
No, I know. I'm just joking, because it was like the things he specifically said about it are like the things you hated the most. He's like, I liked it, and you're like, oh, no, it sucked. And then, but he's like, no, but it was good because the music was good, and you're like, oh.
Oh, jeez.
Can we talk about something else, please?
I did move on from that subject, because, like, I'm like, what are we gonna talk about that movie anymore? Like, how much I hated it.
Right.
No,
I mean, yeah, there's no point shitting on what people like.
They're a great person. You actually met them, like, when I took you to Philly.
Oh, gotcha.
It's one of the people that.
And I was just joking.
I know.
About that actually mattering at all.
I'm more saying this for the chat's benefit, but like,
Oh
Brandon,
yeah.
Brandon met this person.
And I hated him.
Yeah,
We were talking about
him.
Rocker the whole time.
Oh my god, yeah, and how much Rainn Wilson makes a good leading man. I actually have nothing against Rainn Wilson. I can think of 2 movies he was the main character in. It was that movie and it was Super. And Super was a movie that made me feel very gross, but I think that was also kind of the purpose of that movie.
Yeah, it's a weird movie.
It's a weird movie.
That's James Gunn, isn't it?
That is James Gunn, yeah. And I think I understand what the movie was trying to do, where the movie was taking like a superhero premise and then putting a normal ass guy and then like having just real world consequences play out, where like this guy is first of all mentally unwell, and second of all he gets everybody around him killed because of his superhero delusions. And also, like, when he hits somebody in the head with a wrench, it's actually quite mortifying and not
That
fun
was
in
a
games.
gnarly scene.
God, I hated that. That shook me to my core.
It's like burned into my head.
Yeah, it really is. So it's effective.
So if I remember correctly, somebody cuts him in line at the movies, right?
Yeah, and he hits him in the head with a fucking
So
monkey
he
wrench.
grabs a wrench and bashes the guy in the head, and you see his head like react in the way a head would to actually being hit by a wrench.
Yeah,
Nothing went bonk. It like
separated.
there was like a dent.
Ugh.
It was nasty.
It was really gross, and like that was clearly the intention, but it doesn't make for like a fun movie to watch. It's a bummer of a movie. Like
Yeah.
it's a huge bummer of a movie. Like
Yeah, everything about it is a bummer.
Yeah. But it makes
Like-
sense. Like if what they were saying was these superhero shenanigans are dangerous and like only a mentally ill person would think that this is fine. Mission accomplished, you know?
Yeah, I know what they're trying to do, and they did it.
Yeah.
It's just gnarly.
It's very gnarly. That scene was super. I remember watching that, like it was like a movie night with some friends, and like we were all like hanging out drinking. We had just watched like a Treat Williams movie called like Shark Attack before that or something like that, where it's like half Roadhouse, half like Shark Attack, but it's not called Shark Attack. I think it was actually Shark Attack 3. Anyways, we watched like a goofy
the best
B
of
movie.
the series.
Yeah. We had watched a goofy B movie before that, and then we watched Super, and it was like, fuck, this... Everyone's very uncomfortable right now.
Yeah, it's an uncomfortable movie. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot going on in that movie. Anyways, what were we talking about? We got
Rainn Wilson was how we got to Super.
That was how
we were
got
talking
to
about the
Super.
Rocker.
We were talking about the Rocker. And I said my rules that musical acts shouldn't follow.
Yeah.
We also have a Mad Lad in the chat saying hello. We also have Extra Attack RPG who subscribed with Prime. Wow.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. Hold on one sec.
Wow, you're so dominant.
I'm always going to spam the wows, and then I'm going to end it with the wow, you're so dominant. I feel like I need more wow samples, because the bit's running dry.
As he said, we need to commission some more wows.
Yeah, we need to get Owen Wilson on the phone.
Owen.
Owen. Maybe I can get a couple of ka-chows in there. Which, if you think about it, ka-chow, it's kind of wow.
It's in there.
It's in there.
Maybe you could throw a ka-chow amongst your wows.
I probably could, yeah. Ka-chow, wow.
Ka-chow.
Ka-chow. Mad Lad says, look who's spreading some democracy. That's right. We were playing some Helldivers into the wee hours of the morning last night.
Sure were.
Spreading freedom to the bugs. It was a good time. It's a fun game.
Yeah.
You were getting I feel like you were getting quite frustrated by the end. I mean, we were also like tired as hell because it was 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah, that was, and also I think we were playing on too hard of a difficulty. I realized in the morning.
We were, yeah. Although we were, yeah. I guess medium is kind of a hard difficulty, even if you're just 2 people. It's a very difficult game.
But I don't know. Maybe not. I think it was just I was tired, but I had fun.
Yeah, I had a good time. Also, I mean, our characters are barely leveled up, and I assume we'll get better equipment as time goes on. Maybe we'll be able to hold more mags instead of just 7.
I can't wait till I can hold another mag.
Oh man, 7's too little. 9 is too much. 8's the sweet spot for me.
Extra Attack is watching the show with the audio off, apparently.
Oh,
Just want to call him out for that real quick.
How very dear. Although the next message has the Prime logo next to it without that audio symbol, so maybe they.
No, he actually has the audio on. He was just saying that it's weird that it says that, so I was
Oh, okay.
shaming him.
I see what you're doing. Yeah, I read the next message as I was correcting you, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna look like such a dumbass in 2 seconds.
Oh no.
Oh,
Sorry
man.
about that.
You made me look like
I didn't include it.
Fool.
I didn't include it on the pre-show bits log where we talk about we write down all the jokes we're gonna do.
Yeah, we have a.
Include that one.
People don't know this. We're actually reading from a script right now. It's line by
this whole
line.
show is heavily scripted.
So
heavily
rehearsed.
scripted.
Yeah. We spend about an hour before we start the stream just like doing a dry run through everything, just saying everything.
The dress rehearsal, we do 2 of them before the show. We start around 4 p.m. And we're finally ready to go at 8 when the show starts.
Yep.
But
I
think it pays off.
Yeah, we got it locked in.
Wow.
Nobody like talks for too long about inane shit ever. Definitely not me.
Right. All the chatters are scripted too.
That's right.
If we have a stranger come in, they get banned immediately.
Yeah,
this is a production.
Everyone who you see in our chat is a paid actor, and anyone who you see typing in our chat saying, "Hey, would you like to buy some followers?" Those are real people. We're just banning them because. Wow.
They're wrecking our script.
That's right. See, Mad Lad says, "True, I am a paid actor," and we paid Mad Lad to say that. So.
Yeah, exactly. We wrote that.
Word for word. You nailed it.
Great job. That's why you're the best.
That's why we hire you.
Go back to your trailer.
Helldivers is fun. We haven't played enough to like have much to say. I don't even know if we'd have much to say about it. Even
Not yet.
beyond like if we played it a bunch, I feel like we'd just say, yeah, you shoot bugs or robots, and that's pretty cool.
It's pretty simple. But I like it. I like that it's simple. I like a nice game where I can like pop in and play around and then hop off.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take forever, you know.
It's a fun game.
It's nice.
It's nice. And I do like the community aspect of the game, which is very cool. How like everyone's working towards a shared goal, which also feels with the universe of the game too.
That's a pretty cool concept.
Yeah.
The way it works. I feel like somebody finally found a good use for live service that's not just stupid.
Right? That's great. And like it's the fact that the battle passes don't expire and that like the live service is actually like interesting to me. It makes me like willing to, I might shell out $10 every now and then. I don't know. $10 isn't like a lot in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, if I'm still playing it,
Yeah.
Then I don't mind putting some money into it every so often.
That's right. Hey, we got a guy's painting in the chat. Anime grinding time. That's right. We are. You can hear the montage music behind us as we draw this out. Also, the stream. We're transmitting frames, but we're not transmitting all of them. So I hope people are able to hear us just fine.
Hopefully, we're transmitting the good ones.
Yeah, all the frames that get my best angle. That'd be cool.
What is your best angle?
Definitely a 3/4 view on the angle where my nose is crooked more inwards than outwards. If it's crooked outwards, you kind of get like this big hawk talon like beak looking thing, but if you get the angle where it curves inward, you get the nice like aquiline profile.
You like the nose to be turned looking at the camera.
Exactly.
From where you are. It's kind of like that. Yeah, that's nice. Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
Nice little Helldivers you got there. Thank you. If y'all ever want to distribute democracy and liberty together, I'd be happy to. That'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah, we may have to do that.
we usually could use a fourth, sometimes a third and a fourth.
Yeah, clearly.
It's one of those games. So like when we first started playing Darktide, I was kind of mad at the fact that like we would start a game and then like people would join in and like immediately just like start speed running the levels while we're trying to like still get our bearings and stuff like that, and like we had no choice to like not have people join our sessions. And that kind of bummed me out about Darktide. They have fixed that since then. They've added the ability to like kind of like play with your friends without having people join in. But I also
friends only. Yeah.
Yeah, but I also did like once I got into the game and I knew what the game like. As a beginner, that sucked, but as a person who was experienced in Darktide and like doesn't mind speedrunning the levels so much, it became more acceptable. And like generally, my teammates were very helpful when they would join my game. So that bummed me out. But then also today, you know, I played the game. I played around this morning and I had people join my game pretty much immediately. And at first I was kind of like, oh, I was hoping to just play by myself. But then very soon I got overrun by bugs. So I was actually quite happy that
you can turn it off in Helldivers also. But
oh, you can. Okay, interesting.
Yeah. It's on by default.
I see. But they joined my game, and you know what? They ended up. My only complaint about the team that joined me was we did find the orbital cannon. That's like the extra objective, and me and one other person who had joined the game were trying to like do that, but they had already called the dropship in to retrieve us. So I was kind of like, hey guys, like, don't y'all want to get extra points? We're not done. But anyways, it's a fun game. I like it. I like diving everywhere. I just like diving this way and that.
I hope they do some cool stuff with it. I think they will. I imagine like I was reading and I this could be wrong, but I think they didn't bring the robots in like day one.
Interesting.
So I think it's that makes some cool, like, you know, who knows what other kind of like enemies they might drop at some point.
Yeah,
that just start moving in towards like, Super Earth.
The bugs are to the right of the map and the robots are to the left of the map, but then there's like a top and a bottom to the map too, and those are unoccupied. I'm assuming that's just leaving space open for new types of biomes and enemies right then and there.
Yeah, it'll be cool to see if they do anything cool. The like, you know, the concept leaves them open for like some cool things if they want to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I was doing a big oil painting yesterday. A nice thing about taking a week to dry, I don't have to finish it. Very true. Yeah, oil paintings, yeah, they're very much like set it and forget it's of paintings. One thing about it is that the amount of enemies doesn't change for the amount of players. That is interesting to me, and I can't tell if I like that or not. You know, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I imagine it's not a bad thing once they've been doing it a minute and like have the balance figured out and stuff. I'm not saying that it's unbalanced now necessarily, but you know, I'm just saying that doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing if they're like tweaking things to make sure it plays in a fun way.
It feels consistent with the rest, like how you have to like manually reload and how friendly fire is like on at all times. It feels consistent with the rest of what the game is doing to have the bugs never alter. So like the consistency I appreciate, and it also does make the world feel more cohesive, because like the world kind of feels a little bit more designed. If it's like, you know, it's like in Borderlands where it's like a player has joined your game, the enemies of Pandora are a little harder now, you know.
Right.
It does have like a consistency to the game, which I think I do appreciate.
I like your bug faces.
Thank you. I don't. I have not looked up any reference whatsoever, so I don't know if this is quite what they look like at all. I just figured, you know, buggies.
That's nice. Maybe you should give them a little like DrawBomb smile or something. A little gold tooth.
The one over the guy's shoulder, I added a little smile.
There you go.
For him. Yeah. Kyle says, I've been wanting to play Helldivers with you guys, but schedules, and also, like, I mean, yesterday was the first time I installed the game, because I played a friend's copy. But yeah, Kyle, we'd love to have you join the team as well, you know? I mean, every squad needs its team, and, you know, it's a fun game to play with people. Yeah, it's a fun game. I don't know. I don't have much to say. But I feel like we said like, oh, we'll have nothing to talk about, and then we talked about the game for like 10 minutes. So.
Oh yeah,
mission accomplished.
Too, so. Yeah, mission. We did it. We talked about it all we can.
Yay!
Have you been consuming any other games, shows, media of any kind?
I've got some music I could talk about, and I've got a movie I could talk about. But I'm curious what your answers are to this question, because I feel like I yap a lot on this show.
Okay.
So
I've been consuming some media.
Oh yeah.
So me and Morgan watched Silo. I don't know if I talked about that previous episode. I feel
I've
like
never heard of that show.
Okay, so it's on Apple, and it's like
Is this about
a future.
The dog?
No, it's not Silo the dog.
Yeah, Silo the dog.
Shiloh.
Yeah, there you go. You got it.
God damn
I was wondering if
No.
that would be too old of a reference.
Not about the dog.
Okay, sorry.
So
go ahead.
it's basically like, in a sense, it's kind of post-apocalyptic. But basically, these people wake up and not wake up. These people are in a fallout shelter. They've been there for generations. They don't exactly know anything about. There's like a throttle on the information they're given, but they don't know how they got there. They don't know, like, history is not something that they have. So they've been in there long enough that the current generation doesn't know.
They don't know
how they got
outside
there. They don't know
silo.
anything about the world outside the silo.
Okay.
There is like one video feed of the outside, but you can't see anything. It's just like a hill. They're like in, you can't really see anything. It just, looks gray and like bad out there. And basically, like the biggest sin you can do is like say you want to leave, and if you do, you're basically thrown out, and then everybody who goes out like immediately like drops dead pretty quick, like from the air or whatever. You don't really know. A lot of it's just the mystery of them, like.
So it's like a mixture of like Cloverfield Lane and The Giver.
Kinda, yeah. But anyways, it's like there's just like a bunch of mystery starts going on about the silo itself and about like the outside, and it kind of dives into that, and it's based on a book. And we finished the show. There's only one season so far, and I was like, well, it's like ended on like such a crazy cliffhanger.
Oh,
and I was
boy.
like, well, I'm just gonna read the books. So I started doing that. Because there's 3 books. The show finishes about halfway through the first book.
Oh, so they're like really planning to like stretch this baby out for a while.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's getting a second season. That'd be cool because I finished that book now, and I'm interested to see that because it was good. I'm on the second book now.
How accurate to the book has the series been so far?
It's like the major beats are pretty accurate, but it's very different in a lot of ways. Like the show does a lot of things, I think, to like flesh stuff out that isn't in the book at all.
Because some things do work better in a visual format than a read format.
There's a lot of changes, but I kind of am glad about that because it makes me feel like it'll be more interesting to watch the show after I've read the story.
Yeah, you haven't like spoiled
different.
Everything for yourself, so you can kind of still get a fresh.
I talked to a coworker and I'm like, does this count as? I mean, Morgan knows I'm reading them, but I'm like, does this count as like Netflix cheating or whatever to like read the books? And she's like, well, no, because I mean, people usually doesn't everybody read the book before they watch the show anyway? And I'm like, no, I do not do that most of the time.
Yeah, I never read a single Song of Fire and Ice.
Yeah, I want to read those, but I want to wait till they're done if they ever are.
True, fair enough. Yeah, it would kind of suck to get invested in those books, and then it's like, he was too busy writing all that goofy shit in Elden Ring to ever finish the book,
Basically, if he does finish them, I'll read them. But
yeah,
otherwise, I don't know if I will. Anyway, so I'm halfway through the second book. It's pretty interesting. I'm liking it a lot. It's like, I don't know. I like that weird kind of like mystery sci-fi shit. I don't know.
Cool.
Kind of. I don't know how you even describe that genre, but it's kind of like how Portal feels, or that show Severance was, or like that kind of just that kind of weird like.
There's like a central.
There's something going on. You don't really know. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that too. I actually, back before they'd ever announced a Fallout movie or TV, whatever the Fallout thing is gonna be. I thought of what would be a really cool concept for a Fallout movie, which would be, it's like. It's a rom-com sort of movie, and it's like played completely straight. Like it's just a rom-com movie, but it's the only thing that's like off about it is that it's set inside of like a vault, you know? And then like halfway through the movie, when like usually when the characters kind of have the big fight and are they gonna get back together by the end of the movie? Spoiler alert, they will. That's when there's like a big hull breach or something like that, and the giant like ants start trying to like get into the shelter, and then like that's when they have to leave the vault, and you find out there's the whole world. So it's like you don't know there's that outside world, and it's all just this rom-com in a vault until the halfway point where
that'd be interesting.
Turns into a whole different movie, which would be cool and fun.
The hard part with that is it turns out the average person is impatient, I feel like, with stuff.
Yes,
like
very much so.
Visual stuff. I talk to so many people about shows I like, and they're like, "Oh, it was just too slow for me." And I'm like, "What? It was?" I'm like, I kind of like it. I don't know. I kind of like the like slow burn. I like the kind of chess pieces moving around. I don't know.
I do too.
So,
although I've also said
surprised.
I haven't watched Better Call Saul because it was very slow. So I'm a little bit guilty of this myself. You know.
There's nothing wrong with that take. I'm always surprised. I'm like, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. I thought it was good.
I do think like. I will make time for Better Call Saul eventually. Like I feel like it's worth it because Breaking Bad was also like slow as hell, but super worth it in the long run. So Better Call Saul.
I didn't feel that way. I don't know what's wrong with me. I didn't feel like it was slow. I don't know.
I felt so like for Breaking Bad for me, season 1 felt like it moved at a good clip, but then season 2 was really a struggle for me to get through because it would be like, okay, first I have to watch 5 minutes of people fishing a fucking teddy bear out of a pool, and I don't know what the teddy bear is about. And I will find out what the teddy bear is about in the last 10 seconds of season 2. But until then, nothing's happening.
They'll lie to you about it the whole time.
Yeah.
They'll show you things that aren't.
And nothing's
really
happening. And you know, there's body bags.
That's kind of fair. I guess I get what you're saying. But yeah, I mean, you're not the first one I've heard say that. I had a buddy at work who I was like, you gotta watch Breaking Bad. I love it. And he did. And he was like, man, this is so slow. And I'm like, what?
And to be fair, by the time I found out why the teddy bear was like being focused on in Breaking Bad season 2, like the moment that I find out why that teddy bear is there, great moment of television. Phenomenal moment of television. Absolutely worth the wait. But damn, did I have to wait. You know? Yeah. Super worth it. And then the rest of Breaking Bad just felt like it was going, you know? I mean, sure, it was still kind of like a slower... but that's also the good thing about Breaking Bad was that it like was methodical and it took its time. It's just that season 2 especially felt like, at least for the rest of the show, when it was moving slow, I could see the goal, like what they're working towards, and like, okay, so like this character has this mode. Like season 2 just didn't feel like it had much of a motivation going on aside from characters, like the characters kind of just bumbling around the drug trade, being like, oh fuck, that guy's head got crushed by an ATM, my bad. Oh shit, he did, you know. that shit.
That's fair.
Yeah, but season 3 and the rest, like there was a goal, there was like an end point I could kind of see it working towards, and it felt much more and like, I mean,
Better Call Saul definitely has a similar trajectory. It definitely like gets more action packed, and like there's a lot more happening the further you get in. It starts off as almost like a legal like a law show, and then
with some family drama in there.
By the end, they're doing full, like, you know, it's like Breaking Bad. There's people like getting killed and crazy stuff happening, and you know. I thought
episode 2 was great. How the guys, like the skateboard kids, get their legs broken, and then like hard cut to Saul in the restaurant, and he sees the people like breaking breadsticks, and he just hears their legs getting broken over and over. It's a great scene. I love that scene. It's just, you know, It was a few and far between, like, until like the next something
slow.
happened. Yeah, it's very slow. But I mean, I understand they're building it, and you know, like I said, the methodical nature of Vince Gilligan and his writing, it feels like it's going to be worth it.
Real quick to the chat.
Yeah, I wanted to catch up with what was happening in there.
Let's see. Have either of you watched the movie Horse Girl? I have not.
I've heard
I'm not
of
sure
that.
I'm familiar with it.
I feel like I've heard of that movie. Is that the one where it's the girl? I want to say she turns into a horse, but I think I'm thinking of something else.
Whoa, that would be a horse girl.
I've heard of, like, once you find out who's involved with, like, I remember, I think it being a person, like, we would recognize, like, a name that we'd be like, oh, no way, who's involved with Horse Girl, but I don't remember much else about I feel like the person who made it was on a podcast I listened to or something like that. Guy Painting says that the movie you described, what was it called, Shiloh?
The show, it's a show, Silo, yeah.
Gurren Lagann and a boy and his dog vibes. Oh, we are dropping all the frames. We are at 0% frames now. Oh no. And we're backish. Oh, the frames are catching up. Sorry for the folks. If you want to catch up to what we're saying, hit pause and play. That's just gonna be a thing you're gonna have to do. Mad Lad says that they were wanting to write a sci-fi story. It's fun. I mean, it's fun to take what you think the future is going to look like and extrapolate on it. I think that's where the best sci-fi is where it's like you think, you know, oh, what's this crazy new tech gonna be like in 10 years? And then you just write a story, just really.
I mean, you can do sci-fi in the past and stuff too.
True. Yeah. Also very true. I mean, that's what
somebody in the chat said. The only difference between fantasy and sci-fi is robots.
It's very true. That's actually very
maybe
accurate.
Aliens, robots, things I think that have some kind of weird like science-y like connotation.
Space.
I don't know.
Oh, you could write a fantasy movie in space. I mean, that's kind of Elden Ring's a little bit
Star
of
Wars.
that. A little bit Star Wars. Star Wars is basically a fantasy movie. I mean,
yeah, there's wizards and knights and shit.
Yeah, it's honestly why George Lucas is right overall. His super fast editing is even called slow by modern standards. That's interesting. I mean, yeah. There's just a lot of whip speed editing. Whip snap. Now I'm just thinking of Balloon Shop.
Yeah, that's what
like music, pacing and tempo is more important than beats per minute. Absolutely. The more instruments you have going, the faster a song's going to sound, even if the song's going at like a slow speed. Something I always think could be why they are starting to stretch their budget like flat. Yeah, there is like a theory where Netflix shows, like for instance, there's a theory that so much of the latest season of Stranger Things was in slow motion so that they could stretch the show out into 2 like season halves that they could release on opposite ends of the year so that people would have to pay for their subscription to Netflix more to watch the rest of the seasons.
God, I hope that's not true. That's so annoying.
I mean, why else was like half of that season in fucking slow motion? Someone would be like walking down a room and it'd be in slow motion. That was
I don't know.
very
This show's
annoying.
weird.
It's a weird show.
I have weird feelings about it.
I thought the newest season was one of their strongest, but I also, I mean, we talked about Stranger Things in length. Or at length is the terminology people use, but I still think what Stranger Things' best strength is the characters. Like the characters, they know how to write a character that you hate, who they want you to hate that character, and they know how to write a character that you love when they want you to love that character. I mean, they're just very good at that. Like they brought Argyle into the show, and you know, they want you to like Argyle, and he should be an annoying character by every metric, but I ended up really enjoying Argyle as a character.
Was that the stoner?
Yeah, the pizza place stoner guy.
Gotcha.
Yeah. He should have annoyed the shit out of me, but you know what? He didn't. I ended up being like, "Oh, Argyle, you goof," because they know exactly how to like thread those lines of like, "Oh, this character's gonna get too annoying if they do this. We gotta do something that's going to make you like them," just like Steve, you know, in the first season of the show. You hate Steve until Steve like gets his comeuppance, and then the rest of the show, Steve's not only a good guy, he's like one of the most enjoyable characters on the show.
It's funny how evil he was in the first season. They like don't even remember that part.
Yeah.
Fucking evil.
He was a real dick, but you know, he makes such a turnaround. But like, it's that turnaround wouldn't work unless they knew exactly how to get you to like in his favor, and they make you like the speed with which they make you turn around from hating Steve to liking Steve. It's like breakneck, you know. It's super fast.
It's impressive.
It's they know how to
manipulate us.
They know how to manipulate you to like and hate the characters they want you to like and hate. That's like a huge. That's one of like the big, because like I think characters are like one of the biggest aspects of anything that you watch. You're not gonna watch a thing where you don't connect with any characters. So the fact that they're able to, you know, make you feel exactly how they want, you're like putty in their hands.
If you're watching a show where the characters are unlikable, it's just like that feels pretty dead in the water. You know,
yeah,
you kind of need to have some kind of, the characters have to be good.
Yeah.
I think this is totally unrelated, but it just made me think of it. I'm pretty sure the girl that he's friends with at the ice cream shop, I can't remember her name. Mm-hmm. Isn't that Uma Thurman's daughter?
Is she?
I think so.
Oh my God, nepo babies.
Yeah, I know, they're everywhere. Everywhere you look.
Oh my gosh. Let me look it up.
She looks like her.
I'm gonna confirm.
So it's either just a rumor, or like not a rumor, like a fake fact because she looks like her, or it actually is her.
Let's find out. Let's see. Winona.
Not Winona.
Maya Hawke is her name. No, her name's. Oh, that's in. Okay. Sorry. Let's see. Maya Hawke. She is the daughter of Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman. So she's the daughter of two famous.
Double nepo baby.
Double nepo baby. I didn't know that Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman had a kid. I mean,
conceived. I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman on their baby that they had like 30 years ago. Good job.
Okay, let's catch up on the chat just real quick. Not like someone David Lynch. He is slow, but every moment actually matters. I haven't watched enough David Lynch, but I really should. I mean, it's not like I don't have access to David Lynch stuff. But don't watch it on a fucking phone. That's my David Lynch impression right there.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
Pretty good.
The majority of Japanese anime have a problem of ramping stakes way too fast, which is why One Punch is a great parody. Yeah, that One Punch is a great show because I could feel the mockery of a lot of shonen anime as well as the at the same time like the adherence to it. It's like it manages to like thread that needle very nicely.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. It's mocking them, but it's also like doing that thing very well.
Yeah, it's playing it. It's mocking it, but it's playing it very straight, but also doing it better than the sources that it's mocking at the same time. It's One Punch Man is very good at what it's doing, and it's doing it well. And I love an anime that makes fun of other anime. Pretty sure I've talked about it in the past on this show, but I've talked about everything on this show already, so we're just going in circles, really. But Excel Saga is a great anime that every episode is just, they say what they're mocking about anime at the beginning of each episode. And then each episode is just like taking the piss out of like this specific like genre of anime, the specific, there's an episode of Excel Saga where they have a pool episode. They go to like the pool. And normally that's the episode where they have all the fan service and like you see all the female characters in bikinis and tight swimsuits and stuff like that. But what Excel Saga does is all of the male characters are on screen just talking, and then anytime it's a female character talking, they are just out of frame, and it's very funny.
I love that.
It's very good.
There's an old, I won't necessarily say it's worth watching. I guess if you're like a big fan of like South Park maybe. Mm-hmm. But their like original movie they made is Orgasmo. I think you've probably seen it.
I've seen Orgasmo.
It's like this low budget thing that Matt Stone and Trey Parker made before they were doing South Park. And it's about this like porn star superhero, basically, kind of. But every time that there's like, because it's focused around porn, there's like a lot of like porn stars and things. Every scene where like a woman is about to like take her top off, a man's ass just comes on screen and obscures everything. They do it like 3 or 4 times, and it's really funny.
That's a good joke right there. But the Excel Saga, like the very first episode, is they kill the creator of the original manga, and you know it's the creator of the original manga because they say like, "Hey, it's Hikari Rikido, the creator of the original manga," and then they cut to the guy and he's like drawing the manga and he's just going, "I am Hikari Rikido, I am Hikari Rikido." It's very good how like on the nose they are, but at the same time they are making good like mockery of all of it, and I highly recommend Excel Saga to anyone who wants to watch it. I never actually finished it, so like I haven't seen like there's like a halfway mark where they do season 2, and the voice actress of the main character Excel, she's going so ham on the voice acting. Her like voice, if you ever listen to a clip of the main character, she's like going from like screaming to talking, and like her voice is constantly going like it's like a weird. Wow. It's like a weird thing she's doing, and it's not annoying. It's actually, it could be annoying. It's probably annoying, but it's also very funny. But she
didn't annoy you.
What was that? What was that?
So, it didn't annoy you.
Yeah, but she fucked her voice up going so hard on the voice acting, so they just had to replace the actress like for the second half of the show.
Sad.
It's sad, but like it's not surprising if you hear like what she's doing. You're kind of like, I mean, she's sacrificed for her art.
It's a freaky concept that you can like destroy your voice by doing a voice too much.
I had a really freaky week this last week. My left hand.
A Freaky Friday?
A Freaky Friday and a Monday through Sunday and Saturday. But my left hand was hurting actually like all week.
Oh no.
And it would hurt when I was trying to draw. It would hurt when I was using the keyboard, and I was kind of like.
Are you left-handed?
Yes.
Okay.
I am the opposite of Inigo Montoya. I am left-handed, but so I was like, I would try and draw, and my fucking hand would hurt, and I was like, is this it? Is this curtains on is this the end?
Is this the end of DrawBomb? That's what the title of this episode should be. Is get everybody to click.
Get everyone to click. But lately my hand is like in the last 2 days, my hand has been better. But also I noticed like it was both of my hands and arms, and I think it was like a circulation thing, and I think it's kind of like how I'm sleeping and like where my arms are positioned when I sleep.
Probably could be part of it.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to be more careful about like how I position my arms and like how much strain. Like I do have a really unhealthy habit of like I'll be sitting here and I'll just be like fucking cracking my like wrist and my fingers and my like arm and my hands and shit like that. Like I'm a very fidgety, crack my joints kind of person. So I'm taking more notice of me doing that, and I'm trying to like put less, like I'm sure I'm overextending my joints to some extent when I'm doing that on my hands. So I'm trying to like be present and aware of that so I don't do that as much.
There's also exercises you can do for like to uncarpal your tunnels and stuff.
True.
Like that.
There's one I've looked up where you stretch your hand, like you can do it against a wall, but you can also just do it where you like push your hand, like you do it like both ways, and you kind of like stretch your whole hand. And that did actually
until you
legitimately
hear a pop or a crack, and then you know you've gone far enough.
Yeah. But that legitimately did make my hand feel better. So that I was doing, not trying to overdo it, but trying to do it to a healthy amount, and that did provide some relief. But it was really freaky on like Monday. Like I was sitting here trying to draw, and it was like my hand was hurting, and then like at one point I was like, my hand is numb. Like this is scary. No. I was a little frightened.
That is scary. Well, I'm glad your parts are working again.
Yeah, they're much better. And it was also ironic. Like my hand started hurting, and then it was like the first week, I got 3 commissions for art within a day.
Of course.
And I'm like, my hand
they
hurts.
Heard. Get him.
So yeah, it is much better now though. So thankfully, that's fine. I did take a lot more time off from drawing to make sure I wasn't like overdoing it. I was just taking very extra care of my hands at that point. But also like I started to think it wasn't carpal tunnel because it was both my hands were hurting, which is kind of like
right.
That's kind of just that's
why would it happen simultaneously?
Exactly. So I do think it was like a circulation thing and like maybe how I was sleeping and things of that nature. So I'm just trying to be more aware of all of that. Alison Brie is the person in the what was the show that it was called Horse Girl? Alison Brie, that's right. Yeah, she was promoting that movie, and I think it's about like a horse girl, like horse girls. I think you're married to a horse girl, if I'm correct.
In some ways, yes. She
go ahead.
She had a horse at one point. That's about
That's the.
She was definitely a horse. Like you go to like her like bin of like childhood stuff, and there's a lot of horse toys and statues and horse things.
So she's a reformed horse girl.
Yeah.
She's a reformed former horse girl.
She goes to a group 3 times a week. She has a coin for like how long it's been since
she's like sat in a saddle.
She's off the saddle is what they call it.
That's right. They say getting off the horse. They don't say get back on the horse. They say get off the horse.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I've never heard of Horse Girl, the movie.
Yeah, I think it's about like a girl who is a horse girl, but I think she's also like a serial killer. But she like seems weird because she's just a horse girl. I could be completely fucking wrong about this. I'm like going off a distant memory of. A
minute ago, you said she turns into a horse. So like, you really need to like decide what you're you're going with. Maybe both. Maybe she kills people and then she turns into a horse.
Maybe that's cool. The ending. Who knows? Extra Attack also says that he's got a fun science fiction weird audio drama that I know about, and I do because I'm going to voice a character in it.
Oh, that's cool.
It's been in the works for a little bit now, but I'm excited for whenever it's ready. And Extra Attack RPG, his work is in audio, or he's done work in audio. So Extra Attack knows how to make audio dramas. Like if anyone's gonna do it right, I feel like Extra Attack would do it right.
It says, just watch Horse Girl and trust me. Don't even watch the trailer. Okay. I'll take your word for it.
Sounds good to me. I love when people say that. I'm gonna try and speed run this chat real quick. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, go for it.
No,
hit it. Okay. Guy Painting says, my uncle had horses, but I think they're scary as fuck. I agree, they're intimidating. Like at first, like they're big. They're big animals.
As somebody who
you just have to like trust that they don't want to murder you.
Yeah, as somebody whose grandfather was paralyzed by a horse, I don't trust those motherfuckers as far as I can throw them. I will never get on a horse. They've already damaged my family enough.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, you have every right.
They're big mouths.
They will paralyze you, and they will not think twice. So turn them all into glue, is what I say. No. All right, I'm gonna speed run from the top to bottom.
About it? Okay.
Okay, so comic book artists are world famous for stretching story paper thin. Hey, you motherfucker. Unless you're Brian Lee O'Malley. Fair, yeah. I mean, Scott Pilgrim got in and got out and said what it needed to be said, and then was finished. Nepokemon. I'm not sure what that's. Oh, like Nepo babies, but it's a Nepo Pokemon. Extra Attack says no, that's Ethan Hawke's daughter.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, she is Maya Hawke. I would say at least give Eraserhead or Blue Velvet a try. Eraserhead is definitely on the list. I would like to watch Twin Peaks just because it's been so formative and so influential. I feel like it's worth it to watch. Like, even if I don't end up liking it, which I'm not saying I won't, but like I feel like it's worth it to watch like culturally influential media, right? Like it's worth it to at least check it out,
Yeah, I agree. Eraserhead's super weird.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've seen the scene with the fucking baby head, so I mean, I know a little bit of what's in store. That's why I love Trigger. It's very self-aware. I'm assuming they're talking about the anime studio Trigger, who did what was it? Kill la Kill, which Kill la Kill is also very like mocking of anime, although I hear it gets less so as the series goes on. But the animation in that first episode is phenomenal. And Gintama. Ian and I were in the middle of filming a Twin Peaks themed D&D campaign when the channel fizzled out. That is true, that did happen. I would still love to finish that season, as well as the other D&D. We had another D&D storyline going on too, and I had a character who I was very fond of playing, because he was kind of like a rich dickhead who was like kind of thrown into a bad situation, and it was very fun to kind of play someone who's very upper crust uppity, but is getting shit on by the world.
Fun to play someone who sucks.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Except for the love of God, though, if you attempt Twin Peaks Season 2, notice the writer and directors of the episodes, aka they aren't David Lynch, so please don't judge my poor boy off those horrible eps. Fair enough. Except that final episode is fired because the goat was back. Now they're just talking about Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
Yes, bro, I totally get that too. I sleep on my right arm always. I sleep in like this weird lotus position where I like pull the covers over my head, and then like I have my arms both over my head like this to keep the covers off my face, and I do feel like I lose circulation having my arms like this for
it's a real
8
thing.
hours. Yeah. And I have woken up with dead arms on multiple occasions, and that is
Dead arms.
Dead arms. That tells me it's definitely a circulation. Those are a circulation issue, no doubt. But if I'm like waking up occasionally with, it's not very often, but it does happen from time to time, and that tells me that it's probably not a healthy way to sleep with my arms.
I've had that a time or two where I wake up and my arm is just like numb and hurts, and I'm like, oh god, like would it just like fallen off at some point? Like what's the
right? Like when does
the limit for this?
Because like what? It takes like a day for.
It's starting to stink. My arm's rotten.
Yeah, it takes like a day for like what's shit when your arm is like so cold because it's getting no circulation and it starts to rot. Frostbite. That's what I'm thinking of. It takes like a day for frostbite to set in at the right temps. So I mean,
yeah.
We're almost caught up, mostly because what happened to Christopher Reeves happened to my grandfather too. My grandfather got Christopher Reevesed. Pretty much the exact same scenario. So, don't trust horses. Turn them into glue. I'm gonna stop saying that now.
Morgan's gonna come for you.
She is. Ian, okay, and then we have one last message to catch up. Ian's prissy D&D character was perfect because Ian made the very brave role-playing decision to literally hide under a table for the entirety of the first battle. I did, yeah. I refused to have my character, like, my character, like, sucked in the beginning.
That's great.
I was starting to, like, have flashes of he would stop sucking every once in a while, but he mostly sucked. Like, I was trying to, like, really... I wanted him to eventually stop sucking and kind of become a badass. But I wanted him to suck for a good while so that the change felt earned.
Clip this out of context of Ian keep saying I wanted him to stop sucking, but I wanted him to suck for a while.
So that it felt earned, you know, when he you know, you get that sweet payoff all over your face and mouth. Wait,
right.
What?
D&D, right? That's what we're talking about?
Yeah, we're talking about D&D. But it was really fun to play a shitty character. It's cool to play a shitty character knowing that I have somewhere I'm hoping to kind of like take that direction. So it's fun. I recommend playing a shitty. But it helps to play a shitty D&D character if everyone else on the team is less shitty. Because if you play a D&D game with all shitty characters, it can be.
Well, that's no fun.
Yeah, it kind of feels. Yeah, it would be interesting. I mean, there are D&D campaigns where it's like everyone's an evil character and you play like an evil group, and I don't know if that's your thing. Go for it. I don't know.
I want to play. I still have to beat it the first time. I think we're getting close to the end, but I want to play Baldur's Gate as like an evil playthrough. I think that'd be fun.
What is that called? Like Bloodlust, or there's like a name where it's like you are just like a murderer, like you're just a murder hobo.
In the game, you mean?
Yeah, there's like a Call of Evil or something like that. There's like a specific trait.
Dark Urge.
The Dark Urge, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
So that's a specific character you can pick where I think your character is either, I don't know if you're forced to do it, but like you have this dark urge that will occasionally, like, there'll be scripted moments that appear and it like suggests you do something horrible. And I think you don't have to do it, but it's just like a fun way to kind of play it a little differently.
I could be entirely wrong because like I haven't played it, but from what I always research the shit out of any game I'm interested in. Without like getting into spoilers, I'm always threading a fine needle with that, like how much research I do into a game without spoiling the fun for me. But the Dark Urge characters, from my understanding, it's like a trait you can have for your character, and if your Dark Urge option pops up, you just do that automatically. So it's like the Dark Urge tells you to kill somebody, and you'll just like, you won't have that choice. If you have that trait, your character will just murder that character.
Oh, okay.
I believe that's how it works.
The Dark Passenger playthrough.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do my Dexter build.
Yeah. Oh man, what a show. Yeah.
Last thing I want to say, I know we got so far away, but
no, it's okay.
Silo.
Silo.
The second book is...
Yes.
Second book, I'm on the second book. It's interesting because it does this big time jump, and now the second book is explaining how it all went down and how they got there and how it got built, and that's pretty interesting to like jump back like that. I kind of like that they're doing that. Although I don't know how they. Yeah, I guess they could. I was gonna say I don't know how they do that for the TV show. Maybe they won't make that part of it. Who knows?
Interesting. It's always interesting, like when you know what a show needs to like deal with, like story wise, and it's like, oh man, I wonder how they're gonna handle this. You know, it's interesting.
There's also some things that are done in the second book without spoiling anything. That there's some time hopping around a little bit, and there's a reveal of about a certain character that, because it's a medium, the medium is not visual, they can hide information from you for a while, and then something's revealed. But if you could see the person's face, it wouldn't be there would be no mystery to that, like, or there would be no surprise, because you would just know.
It's that classic LA Noire where they're like, I'm not lying. Well,
yeah, basically.
Zoom in that. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, the faces they do are so cartoonish. I don't know why they did that. Why did they do that?
I just remember that. It's like so fun. That game is. I have that game for Steam, and I actually want to stream it sometime. But that game is very interesting. I also had it for PS3, and I just like the copy disappeared. Lenore. I love that video you did on it. But they like, I remember them like in the lead up to that game's release, they were like, yeah, we like filmed real people's faces and figured out a technology where like we put that face on that character, and it looks like the person's there, and like the faces looked really uncanny valley to me, and also like it's in service of that gameplay mechanic where the characters' faces are just like, oh, I didn't see the murder. I don't know.
Is he lying?
Yeah, I don't know. And it's also like that game was very frustrating to me. Like one reason I stopped playing it is it's like I was interrogating a character, and the options are like they're telling the truth, they're lying, press X to doubt, and I was like, okay, I'll press X to doubt, which I'm assuming is just kind of like you're not like being aggressive, but you're kind of like trying to like poke some flaw, do like the Phoenix Wright thing where you poke some flaws in their logic and kind of like prod some things. Get them to
tell them themselves.
Yeah, and instead, like, I press X to doubt, and my character's like, admit it, you're fucking lying, and you killed the person. I'm like, whoa, hold on.
Take it easy about it. Cool your jets. I know, he does that all the time, where he's just like, I'm gonna kick your ass, you lying piece of shit. And you're like, whoa, bro.
This is not doubt. This is...
Yeah. Straight up getting aggressive.
Yeah, I know. So that's what made me quit the game, is because like I fucked up a whole interrogation, and like the guy's like, that's it, I'm not handling that, I'm not dealing with this treatment. I'm getting out of here. And it's like, wow, you fucked that up.
I wouldn't either. You probably should get out of here. I'm clearly like unhinged over here. This
is bad cop right here. And it's like, and then the game is just like, hey, so you fucked up that interview, didn't you? And it's like, I didn't. I was pressing X. You did, game. I was pressing X to doubt. It's very funny. I would love to stream it someday, though. I think it'd be a fun, interesting game to stream, especially because like it's a very narrative game, and I haven't played. I don't know what the narrative is at all, aside from I'm assuming you uncovered the corruption in the Lenore detective agency.
I don't remember the story. I don't think I beat it. I think I also just kind of got like, I'm like, this is kind of undercooked, but
Fair.
it would be interesting now to play it, I think, more than it would have been when it came out. Just
Definitely as a relic of the time.
Exactly. Yeah, so what I mean by the faces is that, I mean, there's a reveal, I won't like spoil it, but there's a reveal where basically there's some time jumping happening and they're giving you names of characters, but it turns out like the names have basically like there's a character that's in both parts and you don't realize it's the same person until later.
And this is in Silo, you said, or I'm sorry, what is this?
Yeah, the second book, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
But if it were visual, you would know it's them immediately because you just see them. You'd be like, oh, that's the guy. That's the guy from the other part.
Interesting. Oh, I like how you added the gold tooth to the one bug. That's a good touch. I'm gonna catch up on. There's more chat. It's an unending stream.
The chat be chatting.
The chat be chat. I mean, good. I mean, that's what you hope for.
That's the purpose.
Yeah, that's why it's there. There was also enough trust and respect and friendship in the group. We did have a really solid D&D group. That was part of what made the experience so good. Was like,
I loved this channel.
Yeah, it was a good D&D group. I mean, we all, I felt like, brought something to the table that was, and you know, sometimes I had some, there was some things I would role play differently because I feel like I could do them better. But overall, I was happy with the fun that we had. We had a really fun group. We had trust and respect in the group to let Ian play a shitty character without the campaign getting boring and annoying. That is kind of like you really want to straddle that fine line of playing a shitty character without it like actively ruining everyone else's fun. And I hope I did a good job with that. People get really hyped to play D&D, but that they don't consider things like how well the entire group is going to mesh. The first thing I want out of a D&D group is to feel like I want to hang out with everyone regardless of the game. Absolutely. Yeah. If you're playing with friends and you're already like, you've got a good vibe with, that's just going to make the whole situation work that much better. Because it's like, you know, D&D is basically you're getting in the SpongeBob imagination box for several hours. You just gotta hope that everyone's doing their part. I always love the revelation of how the fantasy world came to be, like Silmarillion, the Lord of the Rings like extended universe book. And Narnia does it well throughout all of the Narnia books. The ending of Narnia is actually the most insane hard twist I've ever read. Yeah, the ending of Narnia is nuts.
I don't know if I finished. I read like Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, but I didn't read the rest of the series.
Oh, I read the whole series, and let me tell you, the ending of. Do you want to hear what the ending of the Narnia series is?
I'd love to hear it.
So the ending of Narnia, there's like this whole fucking war that's fought in Narnia, and it's like we've gone through several generations of, because like the kids grow up, and then there's like a point in time where Aslan like sits each kid one by one down when they get to a certain age, and Aslan's like, just want to let you know, you're too old to come to Narnia anymore. Yeah, next time you walk into that wardrobe, it's just gonna be a closet, and you can't come back, cause you're 15 now, or some shit like that.
So once you hit puberty, you can't
essentially
experience magic anymore.
Kind of a weird. I mean, if you consider some implications, that's kind of weird. But anyways, so the book series goes through like you're like on the third generation of like the original characters from the book series, from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. You're on like the third or second generation of their kids or something like that. Anyways, so they fight this big fucking fantasy war, and then they win. I think is how it ends. Like they win, they kill the evil that has plagued Narnia, and then they're like celebrating, and then Aslan's like, hey kids, I just want to let you know, you're dead. And the kids are like, what? And Aslan's like, you're fucking dead. You're in Narnia forever because you're dead. Y'all fell asleep on a train, and the train crashed or like it derailed. You're all fucking dead. And that's it.
So is Narnia like an actual place, like heaven or something?
I don't know. It's kind of heaven. They go there. They get to stay in Narnia forever because they died on the train.
So did none of it actually happen? Was it all like a dream?
I don't know. I think
How did the other people go there?
I don't know. I think Narnia
Tell me.
I think Narnia, like, they fell asleep on the train. Like, I think the book starts with they fell asleep on the train ride and were teleported to Narnia, because I think Aslan gets a strong enough bond with, like, the later generations where, like, they're so connected to Narnia that Aslan can just kind of, like, be like, hey, I need you, and then the kid's like, whoa, I'm in fucking Narnia now.
So Aslan is, like,
Aslan's Nick Fury, and he's kidnapping children. And
I was gonna say the ghost, the bong head from Power Rangers. Power Rangers.
Zordon.
Zordon?
Yeah. He's kind of Zordon. And the kids are they're dead. That's it. Okay. Aslan's, like, the last page of the book is him being like, kids, you're fucking dead. The train crashed. You're dead. You're in Narnia forever now. Good thing you made it non-evil, because you were going to be here forever, because you're dead. The train blew up.
Enjoy your Turkish delights. It's all you have anymore.
Yeah.
It's kind of rude that he didn't tell them until after they won the war for him.
Yeah, he really didn't want to.
He's like, all right, now that I got what I want, I really got to tell you this thing.
Yeah.
It's honestly, like, I kind of feel embarrassed that I didn't tell you sooner, because now I kind of feel shitty about it. But
now that you kids did me a real solid right here, but you're dead. So yeah, that's how it ended. Let me see here real quick. I've read somewhere how Uncanny Valley happens if it's between 90 and 95%, which is why it's hard to get over, but it's good for us humans not being schizophrenic. Yeah, because the Uncanny Valley it's literally that, it's like you get to 85%, and that's when you get in the valley, because it's lifelike enough where your brain, but it's not perfectly lifelike, so your brain is like, is this guy wearing a fucking mask? It's kind of like that's what it is your brain is saying, like, hey, is that a person wearing a creepy mask, or is that, like,
your brain says, all I know is that motherfucker back there ain't real.
Yeah, that ain't right over there. I think it's like a survival mechanism for, like, you're in the...
Yeah, I think so too.
You're in the forest, and, like, you can't see, but you can kind of make out a face of, like, a lion in a bush over there, so your brain is just like, that ain't a fucking bush. And that's, like, the Uncanny Valley.
It's creepy that the evolutionary response to seeing something that looks almost human but isn't is to freak you out. It's like, what? Where did we get that? Where did that get built?
It'd be kind of great.
It's the Uncanny Valley for us is similar to, like, when a cat sees a cucumber and thinks it's a snake. Yeah. That's their Uncanny Valley.
Absolutely. It'd be interesting, now that we're talking about it, it'd be interesting if, like, the uncanny, like, you just, like, there's people out in the world who start triggering your, like, Uncanny Valley reflex, and it's like, you don't, like, they're normal people, like, they're your neighbors and stuff, and you don't know why, but, like, even though they look
that feels like a horror movie or something.
Yeah, and, like, you start to realize, like, it's because they've been, like, body snatched or something, you know, like, they're imposters,
like, skinwalker things.
Yeah. Which would be cool. Well, what?
Just
Bless
that concept.
You.
Thank you.
It's a fun concept. It would be cool. I wrote an outline and, like, part of a script for a story once where I called it Uncanny Valley, where it's like, now it's horribly outdated because AI has progressed so far, but I wrote this back in, like, 2017 or something like that, where it's like a robot. It's like the first AI that has, like, its own thoughts, and it starts to, like, but they gave it, like, this creepy plastic face, and people
that actually has all happened in real life.
And people are weirded out.
Plastic face and all.
People are weirded out by his face, and he gets, like, very self-conscious about it, but he also falls in love with, like, the woman who programmed him, and then, like, he gets, like, a glitch, like, his, like, glitches in his programming causes him to, like, forget things, and kind of gives you all the human errors that we are, like, prone to, and they're all just, like, glitches.
You basically wrote, like, Flowers for Algernon, but about a robot.
Yeah, and eventually he sets fire to the house and cuts the face off of the one guy who programmed him, so that he can, because, like, he finds out that he's dating the woman he's in love with, so he kills that guy and cuts his face off, and then puts, like, staples it to his face, and, like, chases after her with an axe. And also the house is on fire, and then, like, she destroys the robot, and then she goes to work the next day and realizes they've started, like, mass production of the robots with his personality, so they're all in love with her. And that was the story I was gonna write, but it almost feels outdated at this point, you know.
I like it.
I do too. I wrote like half of a script of it. Maybe someday I'll finish it. I'm gonna speed run the chat again. Oh my god, Jay and I were talking about the doubt moment where he literally goes, "Do you fuck little boys?" That's hilarious. I haven't seen that moment, but that sounds absolutely like the average.
Does that happen in the actual game?
It sounds like it. I mean, that's what it sounds like.
That's wild.
That's so fucking funny. Yeah, the doubt.
What a line.
Yeah. But I completely believe it because like of how aggressive he gets when you press X to doubt, you know?
Yeah, he doubts hard.
He does.
He doubts with everything he has.
We be chatting lads, in it. I be laddin'. Aladdin. Big talky times. I'm doing my part. And that's a Starship Troopers reference, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
A couple in it, lads. Should we spoil Narnia? Yeah, I mean, that's an old question. They were dead, the kids were dead, and they are in biblical heaven. Aslan is biblical God. They fly over the train as ghosts and see themselves in the final pages. Now you don't have to read... It's 7 books. It's not 12, but it's a lot of books. The Lake of White Lilies. Oh, yo, my dude did read it. How badass. Good job. Oh, yeah, I read the Narnia books. I read them when I was like 12. Yeah.
I only read the one.
It was all a fantasy dream death. White Witch is metaphorically Lucifer. Elephant Man by David Lynch. That's a good movie. Essentially has the theme of Uncanny Valley in a way. I am not an animal. I am a human being. And Elephant Man was a real person. He was a real person, and you can actually... I think Michael Jackson owned Elephant Man's, like, mummified head or something like that, right? Isn't that... Or skeleton?
I think maybe a skull is what I heard, but I don't know. That also sounds like an urban legend.
That's true, yeah. It kind of sounds like the same kind of rumor where it's like Walt Disney's head is frozen in a bunker under Disney
Richard Gere had a hamster in his butt.
Yeah, it's like everyone just kind of took it as gospel, but it's not true. I don't know that about Michael Jackson thing, but I know that people have like debunked the Disney head thing. I'm fairly certain. Extra Attack says, I have a short horror story I wrote about being invited to a work party and you realize that everyone's face is just a little off. So like there's a full horror aspect of you're the odd one out, but also the uncanny valley or body horror aspect of no, this is all fucked up. That's pretty cool. You might like the films
like
They Look Like People or Anomalisa. Both are about this exact theme. I've heard about Anomalisa. That's like the stop motion puppet one, right? There's also a YouTube link. Noire. Okay, we got. Let's play this Noire clip because I feel like we gotta, you know. We just get it queued up and ready to go. This is gonna get us
the doubt button and he grabs you by the head and slams it through a table.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You see his face?
Oh my god. I do see his face.
A man who did not know his place.
Oh. On the show.
He presumed to ask me questions.
We do a lot of presuming here in the United States, Consul General. It comes with the turf. You fuck young boys, Valdez.
That's good shit. Whoop.
They are very uncanny valley. It's weird. It's like their bodies don't move quite right, but there's like a human face like pasted on the weird like 3D body, and then their faces look like plastic and weird.
Yeah,
it's gross.
It's very creepy. I remember the game like being like pre-release, but like every like G4 was talking about it. This is back in the days of G4, and they were like interviewing the developers, and the developers were like, yeah, like it looks like a real person, and like 13-year-old me is like, well, technically it was Rockstar published, but it was like Team Bondi that made it.
Got it.
That was back in like Rockstar's publishing days. But yeah, they like the developers would be like, hey, it looks just like real people, and 13-year-old me sitting there going like, no, they fucking don't.
Yeah, says who?
Yeah, not me. I'm 13. Like, I know what a person looks like, and that ain't it. And it also like it bugged me because one, it started the trend, and it's a trend that's still very much ongoing, where instead of having a character that just looks like a unique and individual person,
but we'll see. We can get running again.
It's a twitching. I mean, we're back on. Or we have reconnected.
Okay, cool.
Oh my gosh. Twitch, why I oughta. You Twitch. What was I saying before I got distracted? Oh yeah. You know, with movies, it comes to the territory that a person's gonna look like a person. You know, because they are just maybe a bit more easier to get invested in.
Sure.
Because you don't like it's not like, oh well, that's Tom Cruise right there, you know.
Right. I get why, like, you know, it's a common thing in movies, so I guess it's not that strange. But yeah, when I see it in a video game, I'm like, yeah, man, you don't have to. I mean, you're animating it anyway. Might as well not.
Yeah.
Just animate Tom Cruise walking around or whatever.
Why are we putting Norman Reedus in this game? Why can't it be like Norman Reedus as some fucking guy, you know?
Yeah, let him do the voices and stuff in the mocap, but like make a new guy.
Yeah. Like even
movies are if a movie's not animated, then you know it's gotta be the actor. It's just the way it is. But like because you're in this medium, you don't have to do that. You can choose to.
Yeah.
But you're not beholden to that for any reason.
Like it weirds me out that like in the Spider-Man game, when they brought it to the PS4, they brought it from PS3. I think they brought it from PS4 to PS5. They like redid Peter Parker's face, and I thought it looked worse. But I also thought that like it was weird.
Worse. I'm gonna disagree with you there.
Okay.
He looked real nasty before.
I could be. I mean, I haven't played it either way, so like I just saw screenshots, so I could be completely off base. I also could be mixing the faces up. But anyways, I did think it was kind of weird how they changed his face in the upgrade version, like just so that he could look more like the voice actor. I was kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
And
maybe it makes the things easier in mocap.
It probably does.
It looks like.
But it still removes that sort of individuality of that character. Like it also bugs me that in Dead Space, the remake, they changed Isaac Hayes. He's the guy who made the Shaft theme song. No, Isaac Clarke's. It's weird that they like redid Isaac Clarke's face to just make him look like the voice actor again, and that I don't know. That's weird to me. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Now it's that actor now. So I don't know. It's weird, man.
Real quick, I'm gonna show you the two Peter Parkers, and maybe you will stand by your opinion, and that's fine. It's okay if you're wrong. But this is the one on the right is the old Peter Parker, and then they changed it to the one on the left, and I feel like the one on the right looks especially animated. He
is the old one. Oh, okay. I thought it was reversed. I thought it was the other way around. Okay, because I do like the new one much more.
Looks more like especially animated. Looks more like a person.
Okay,
the other one looked a little weird.
Don't delete that picture yet, but I'm gonna tell you what the one on the right kind of reminds me of. Give me 2 more seconds, I promise. Give me a sec. Hold on, I swear to God, I'm almost done. Wait.
Yep, that's fair. Extra text says, I didn't like the face change. I thought that early 30s Peter Parker was a good character choice, and by making him look younger, it kind of changed the vibe of the story. I don't think it was intentional. I don't think the goal was to make him look younger. I just think that face looks young. Like, how do I say it? I think the face they're making is somebody with like a more of a younger look to them without actually being younger. Because like the next game, like there's like 2 more games, time's passed a lot, and you're still this guy on the left, you know, like you're older. I just think he has kind of a baby face. He
probably. I mean, I feel like a baby face character kind of fits the Peter Parker vibe in general.
But I do get what you're saying. That's fair.
Yeah. Let me see. Glitch in the Matrix. There's also the interesting fact that any video is limited by its format of being LED pixels. This is true. I watched a whole Captain Disillusion video about that very subject. Sort of. I mean, it's more about just like how cameras operate and how LEDs changed cameras. Do you ever watch Captain Disillusion on YouTube?
I don't think so.
It's a great
I'm always
channel.
looking for more channels. I need to just like have you give me a list.
I should, yeah. I mean, I'm always like happy to obviously watch YouTube videos with you because I'm always like, hey, did you want to watch Curtis Connor with me?
It's always fun.
It is, yeah. I enjoy it. It's good for like working on stuff together too, or like a crafting game. But Captain Disillusion's this really cool channel where his whole channel started as like a debunking channel. So it's like a viral video would be spreading around the internet, and people would be like, wow, I can't believe they made an invisibility cloak. And he has like this like face paint and like outfit that he wears because he's like a superhero, but he's like fighting misinformation with because he's a VFX guy, so like he's using his knowledge of like visual effects and like video trickery to disprove like misinformation and show you like,
okay,
this video is fake because you can tell by this shit, and like here's me recreating it. And it's like and lately, because debunking, like he made a video where he's talking about how like I debunk a video and like 4 months later people are reposting it going like, wow, this is real. And it's like, no. So like
stick.
It doesn't stick. So like a lot of like his video, like he still does like debunk videos, but it's less about the angle of, and like he actually like has like this really great video where he interviews the guy who debunked Uri Geller, which is very cool. It's a very fascinating video. But anyways, his videos, like, first of all, his production value is insane. Like each video is just like really well edited, a lot of special effects and like slick visuals happening. But he's kind of using his VFX knowledge to both break down like how video trickery is done. But he's doing it less from a debunking angle and more from like a, hey, do you want to know like how people do this shit sort of angle? Like he talks about like how they take shots of a city from movies and then make the streets seem like empty, like a 28 Days Later sort of effect, you know?
Yeah.
And his latest video is about like cameras with rolling shutter. So I learned about what the hell rolling shutter is and how it's like LED pixels affect that, but also like how older cameras don't have as much of a rolling shutter effect because of the way that their mechanics operate. It's like a 20-minute video, and it's like every second there's just like visuals, like, and visual aids happening, and it's very well edited. But it's a very informative and interesting video. I highly recommend checking out Captain Disillusion on YouTube. His channel is really cool.
I'll have to add that fella to the list.
Yeah, I think his channel is just called Captain D. I'm not sure, but he's got this really interesting video about the Great British Bake Off. Where in the Great British Bake Off, you're telling me they got visual aids now? I know. Watch your eyes. No.
No one's safe.
No body part is safe. In the Great British Bake Off, they like have these trophies that they give out to the winner of the seasons, and it's like this clean, it's like the see-through dish or whatever that they give to people, and it's got like the Great British Bake Off written on it. I forget like 100% the aspects of it, but essentially what he proves is like there's no way they can like make this but at the time of filming because of this, that, and the other. So what they actually have to do is when they like show them in the show giving like this see-through disc to the people, they're actually like modeling it in CG and then like replacing it so that they can get like, and like putting the logo on it and like refracting the imagery behind. It's a very fascinating thing. But yeah, I highly recommend his channel because it's interesting to see his transformation. It's kind of a goofy channel because again, he's got like the face paint and he's doing like the superhero sort of aspect to it. But I do really like he has like a motto that he either used to say all the time or maybe he still says it, but I always really enjoyed it, where he says love with your heart, use your head for everything else, which I think is a good message. I like that.
Yeah.
But I highly recommend this. It's a good channel. I'm full of good YouTube recommendations.
Yeah, you are. I know that about you.
Yeah. Yeah. What are people saying in the chat? Oh boy. Star power is a really strange thing. You slap Marilyn Monroe on a film title and everyone flocks to the theater when, of course, none of these women look anything like her. Yeah, it is weird. There's that meme I've seen where it's like how the actor looks representing this historical figure in the movie, and then they show like this like just really haggard looking person. They're like, when they show the photo of the person in the credit sequence, you know?
Yeah. Funny. It's just funny because like to be like an actor or an actress, you kind of have to be, or most of the time you're pretty conventionally attractive. So it's funny when it's a biopic because it's like just put like a stupid wig on like a model, and then they're just like, I'm gonna be sexy FDR or whatever. Like,
yeah. It's really weird because like Ip Man is a great movie. The sequels, they're whatever. But the first movie is phenomenal. But like it's Donnie Yen, and Donnie Yen is a very handsome man, and he's also a phenomenal martial arts movie actor. But then they show like the credit sequence. They show a picture of Ip Man. He doesn't look a thing like him, and he also, he doesn't look Hollywood handsome like Donnie Yen does. There was also that weird thing that happened with Marissa Tomei in Spider-Man. She's actually 50, but so attractive people were mad. I was thrilled that she was Aunt May because Marissa Tomei is hot.
I'm just happy to see some Marissa Tomei. That's all.
I'm always happy to see Marissa Tomei too. She can touch my Peter Tingle any day of the week. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I'm canceled now, aren't I? Do we pack it up? Do we go? Are we done?
Yeesh.
I know. I made it weird.
I mean, it is actually time to pack it up, pretty much. It
is actually very close to that, yeah. Look, all the respect to Marissa Tomei. She's a phenomenal actress. I mean, she's great in My Cousin Vinny. Like, she's the reason that movie is so good. Like, she's so fucking funny in that movie. But there's a reason that George Costanza wanted to date her, and it was because they both found a kindred in loving the word manure. Because it's like you got ma, but you also got like your mother who you love, and then you got newer. So it's not old, it's new. Manure.
I do remember. I forgot for a second about that whole plot line that George almost actually gets with Marissa Tomei.
Yeah. And she's like not creeped out by she's only creeped out when she finds out he accidentally caused his wife's death.
Yeah, she wasn't a fan of that, but that's understandable.
That like manure, because like George Costanza brings up the manure thing like in multiple episodes. That particular moment feels so Larry David. Like when people are like, George Costanza's Larry David, sometimes I see it, sometimes I don't. But that moment in particular, I'm like, that feels very Larry David.
Yeah.
What? Tell me, you take the word ma, you love your mother, and then it's newer. It's not old, it's new. That's my terrible Larry David. It's kind of like a mixture of Jerry Seinfeld and...
It is kind of a Jerry Seinfeld-ish thing.
It's a mixture of Jerry Seinfeld and a harmful stereotype. It's a great show. I like that the story was like, I've been Spider-Man for a while now and things kind of suck in my personal life and I should be getting married and stuff, but I'm also trying to be a superhero, so the babyface look made me feel like, you're still so young, stop worrying. That's fair.
Got all the time in the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
Rolling shutter is so annoying, bro. I never knew about it till getting a new digital camera and trying to film my computer screen. Oh, yeah. Marissa still isn't married either, as far as I know. It's wild, bro. Oh, she's actually 60. Jesus, what the fuck? Well, hey, look, okay? Age is a number. As I get older, like, you know, I gotta be more open to, like, people who are 60 being attractive. Because I'm almost there, man. Give me, like, another lifespan.
You're halfway.
I'm halfway.
You're halfway to Marissa Tomei.
Look, I mean, there's a reason they made Blanche the sexy one in The Golden Girls, and it's because Rue McClanahan is an attractive woman, you know? Let's just... Brandon, why don't we just list off all the actresses that we find attractive, you know? Why don't you start?
Over actresses over 60?
No, just in general.
I'm sure they'll be so thankful, you know, that we give them a mention.
Oh my god. some unfuckable hack in DrawBomb thinks that I'm attractive. Oh my god, Marissa Tomei, my dreams are made. This drawing's done, I feel like, by the way.
I think so too.
I'm gonna do a couple of things that I've been doing lately, and I feel like it helps us like kind of get like a consistent vibe to these drawings. Gerard Way from MCR is also like 50. I'm so jelly of him. I mean, yeah, who's not jealous of the guy who is part of a very successful band, an influential band, My Chemical Romance? I mean, I'm jealous of him, and I've never even really listened to their music, aside from, I think they made Black Parade, which is a banger of a song. I mean, it's a great song.
I am jealous of his bank account.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So carry on! That's that song, right?
I think so.
That music video is kind of dope, too.
I don't know.
It's got, like, some kaiju energy.
I like watching you draw with your full arm.
Hey, that's how
You're really getting into it.
That's how you prevent the carpal tunnel. You gotta use the whole arm. You get that range of motion. How's this? Do you think this is too much? Do you think it needs to be... This is it without...
No, I like that.
Okay.
Nice pitch.
I'm
Are you ready for me to save it?
Give me one more annoying touch I'm going to add.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Because I got like that... I'm just gonna... Oh yeah, so while we wrap things up, I watched Blackberry.
Oh, how'd you like it?
I liked it. I thought it was good. It's well done. I mean,
Ooh,
it's...
I like these glowies.
Thank you. Oh yeah, I think I'm actually gonna make these add. They almost look better as overlays. I don't know. It's hard to... What do you think, add or overlay?
You see the two. Okay, so which is which?
This is overlay where it's more orange, and then add makes it more like...
I like overlay.
Yeah, me too. I think that's good. Maybe too much. That's maybe like 50%, something like that. I feel like that's decent right there.
I think that looks good. That looks good. I like it. I like it.
I'm gonna add the drop pod needs a little bit of love. Boom, done. I did it.
Well done.
This
Guy Painting says, "Nice work, dudes. You finished this little puppet. Puppet.
What were you seeing? I don't even see
Fast as
that.
hell.
Oh no, yeah, nice work. You finished this little puppet fast as hell. It's a puppet. You know, if you move it around on a stick, that's a puppet.
If you print it out and then I fold it in half like a mouth, it's a puppet. It's drawing.
Yeah.
Good work.
This image is great. It just needs to match the amount of orange. I just fixed that. There's a lot of orange in Helldivers, but it's good. I feel like the colors all stick out and are effective in that game.
They do indeed.
Anyways, Brandon.
Plug.
Watch Jeopardy for Dogs on YouTube.
We got front paged on Newgrounds.
We did get front paged on Newgrounds.
Oh yeah, we didn't mention our little comment that we got either. But.
Oh yeah, Joel Haver actually commented on our Oscars film, which was very cool. I got a notification on my phone, so I saw it right away. But I didn't. I gave it like an hour to respond because I didn't want to seem like that guy who's like, "Oh my God, Joel Haver."
Right. You don't respond to the next day. That's how you look cool.
Yeah, I had to do that. I had to play it cool, you know. You wait 3 days and then you text him back, and then that's how you get Marissa Tomei. But yeah, so I assume he's like power watching a bunch of the movies in preparation, maybe for the Oscars. It's like, you know, it's interesting that, you know.
He's probably gonna do awards again, I would imagine.
Yeah,
And
at
so
the
he's
very
probably
least.
just trying to watch some.
Yeah, so we did get watched, which is cool. It was nice of him to comment. He said he liked the film and that he thought the style was cool and we should do something ambitious with it. Which I mean, we are. You know, it's gotten delayed because of other projects that I'm happy.
Other ambitious things.
Yeah. We got a lot of ambitions.
Right.
Yeah.
Mad Lad says I have ideas for a film this year. Cool. Yeah, we're discussing if we're gonna do it or not. We want to. We just have a couple other deadlines that are flying in.
Yeah.
Coming in hot.
It'd be cool to do it. I mean, it does it does get us views. Like Dr. Catastrophe only has
I know
600 views because I mean, and who's to say that people watched all of it, you know?
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I would love to do it.
I would love to also if we can.
Maybe we'll, you know, if we play some Helldivers 2 tonight, we can discuss
Some ideas.
Yeah. Shout out Newgrounds. Tom Fulp is a sexy beast. Tom Fulp is a handsome man and also cool ass guy. He was very nice in person. I got a chance to meet him. He recognized me, which is cool. He didn't recognize my face, but he recognized my name tag and he was like, "Oh, you're Top Cat, yo." And I was like, "He knows my name."
That's wild.
It's so fucking weird.
Crazy.
Which was a very, very top moment of the year for me. It's always nice when cute guys like Joel spur you on. That's right, hey, like cutie Joel. You know,
What a cutie.
what a cutie. I gotta watch his new movie. He just dropped his newest movie.
Yeah,
he's doing
saw
the
that. I
movie
didn't watch
a
it
year.
yet.
Have you watched his other one? His
No, I didn't watch the other one, but I actually just heard about that he had been doing this when he dropped the new one.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I did watch his first movie of the year, and I gotta tell you, it's depressing.
Yeah.
It's a bummer. It's just about a dude who can't figure out how to grow up, but he like desperately needs to, and it's just like you're just kind of watching him circle the drain. It's a bummer because it's like you can kind of there's a lot of reality in it.
I'll have to check it out.
I do recommend it. It's well done.
Nice.
Yeah. Other than that, yeah, watch Jeopardy for Dogs.
Follow us on all our things.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and one last thing. I was going to talk about some music, so I'll just plug this as well. I've been listening to this album by this guy named Homeshake, and the albums are called Pareidolia Catalog Volumes 1 through 4 and Pareidolia Catalog Volumes 5 through 8. Each album is like
Pareidolia spelled. Sorry, I'm just trying to so I can find it.
No, it's okay. It might be easier if you just like search them up through Homeshake, but Pare, like pear, like, you know, kind of like chopping the excess off things. Idolia, so Pareidolia. I don't know how you actually say that. It's like a pink image of like a UFO. If you want some like really, it's like good music to be on fucking ketamine to. Not that I do ketamine. That's kind of just the vibe of it. It's very zonked out. It's almost lo-fi, but it's even sleepier and kind of more zonked out than that. But it's like each album is like 2 hours long, 62 like minute and a half long songs of just like really simple, like an acoustic guitar, a drum beat. The high end is like chipped off of the song. The very first one in the album is my favorite, but it's got like some nice little tunes here and there. But if you're looking for like something super relaxing, something you could like essentially fall asleep to, they're nice songs. I don't know. Cool. I recommend them. I enjoy the vibe.
Yeah, that seems my vibe.
Yeah. So that
I like
that's
that kind of like weird, sleepy, like I don't know, kind of music. I don't know. It's very up my alley.
When I think of it, all I can really describe it as is zonked out, which is like a very not concrete sort of term, but I feel like you understand what I mean when I say it's
zonkcore.
It's very zonkcore.
Save this drawing real quick.
Yeah. I've seen that fucker Joel pop up in all these Churdly vids I'm watching too. Nice to see Churds is my dude. I haven't seen Churds. I feel like I might have seen a video with Churdly in it, but I can't confirm. Mr. Krabs does ketamine. Laugh my ass off. It's kind of, yeah. There's less clickety clackety of his legs. I feel like you gotta have that if you're gonna have Mr. Krabs music. But yeah, if you want some zonked out tunes, listen to Home Shake's Pareidolia catalogs. It's a lot of it. It's like 4 hours of zonked music. So it might be like the perfect sleep aid. Sleep aid. I don't know. Speaking of the perfect sleep aid, the end of this episode. I don't know.
DrawBomb. Thanks for watching it.
Thanks for watching. Do you have anything you want to plug, Brandon?
No, I think that about covers it. I want to say thanks. Xenus, Lotus Clock, Leviathan Den, Crazy Kyle. We had Mad Lad. We had Extra Attack. We had Guy Painting. We had Spawnf showed up at the very end.
Spawnf did show up. We didn't say hi to Spawnf. But hi, Spawnf. Good to see you.
Hi, Spawnf.
Hi, Spawnf.
Everybody was here. Everybody.
Yeah, everyone popped in. It's kind of crazy that
all the cool people were here.
Yeah, everyone don't know, but like people who popped in today, they're the cool people.
That's right.
Yeah, that is everybody. We the whole team showed up.
Should we raid someone tonight?
That's a great question. Why don't we find?
We throw it over to like. I'm looking at my people I follow. Cody Scheibe would be a good one.
Oh, Cody Scheibe would be a great one. Yeah.
Let's do that.
Let's do Cody Scheibe. So raid Cody Scheibe. I haven't tuned into a Cody Scheibe stream in a while, but I love his stream.
It's been a second for me too. Yeah. But thanks for watching, everybody. We appreciate you.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Love you. Bye.
Bye. See ya.
I'm gonna pop over there.